Assalamu alaikum students. Today we are going to discuss about nucleophilic substitution reaction. The meaning of nucleophilic is nucleophile and the substitution means replacement. And we all know that what is the meaning of replacement? The one person is come and the other person is replaced, and if we talk about in chemistry, the one reactant is come and the another reactant is replaced. Okay. There are two reactions of nucleophilic substitution reaction, unimolecular substitution reaction and bimolecular substitution reaction. Firstly, we discuss unimolecular substitution reaction. This is also called SN1 reaction. The number of 1 which is upper on the end, it's denote order of reaction. We categorize unimolecular substitution reaction into two steps. In the first step, formation of carbocation. When we see the substrate of the reaction, there is a carbon and halogen, and on the carbon three alkyl groups are present. This whole reaction proceeds in the presence of tertiary substrate. Okay. When halogen attack on the carbon, halogen has partial negative charge and the carbon has partial positive charge. Halogen and carbon both has electronegativity difference. So what will happen? Halogen gain the halogen gain the electrons from carbon and will separate, and the product will be carbocation. This product will call carbocation. This reaction occurs in the presence of polar protic solvent. Ma'am, what is polar protic solvent? Polar means create polarity, and the protic solvent means when halogen attack on the carbon and gain electron from the carbon, the bond between the carbon and halogen is break down. Halogen will separate. So, what is the function of polar protic solvent? Polar protic solvent catch the halogen, means it will not repeat again on the carbon and form bond with the carbon. In a simple word, we can say that halogen जब कार्बन से इलेक्ट्रॉन लेकर सेपरेट होगा और द बॉन्ड बिटवीन द कार्बन हेलोजन विल ब्रेक, पोलर प्रोटिक सॉल्वेंट जो है हेलोजन को पकड़ कर रखेगा कि वो जो है कार्बन के साथ जाके दोबारा नहीं लग जाए. अच्छा, ये होगा क्यों? क्योंकि हेलोजन पर है नेगेटिव चार्ज और कार्बन पे है पॉजिटिव चार्ज. Positive charge and negative charge will attract. We all know that positive charge and negative charge will attract. सेम चार्ज की रिपल्जन होती है और डिफरेंट चार्ज की जो है अट्रैक्शन होती है. Okay. So in the first step, carbocation is formed. Okay. C mean carbon, R mean alkyl group, H mean X mean halogen. Okay, the ratio of carbocation is 3 degree, 2 degree, 1 degree. Means in the 3 degree carbon or 3 degree of alkyl group, carbocation is formed. It is very strong as compared to 2 degree or 1 degree. Now, the second step of unimolecular substitution reaction means SN1 reaction. When carbocation is formed, it react with nucleophile. Nucleophile has negative charge and carbon has positive charge. Nucleophile attack on the carbon and form bond. when nucleophile या फिर ये कह लें आपको पता होगा कि जो पॉजिटिव नेगेटिव चार्ज होते हैं वो आपस में अट्रैक्ट करते हैं और जबकि सेम चार्जेस होते हैं वो आपस में एक दूसरे को रिपेल करते हैं क्योंकि न्यूक्लियोफाइल पर जो है नेगेटिव चार्ज है और कार्बन पे है पॉजिटिव चार्ज। तो न्यूक्लियोफाइल जो है अट्रैक्ट होगा कार्बन की तरफ और ये बॉन्ड की फॉर्मेशन कर लेगा। ठीक है। There is another information about this mechanism. Nucleophile attack from both sides means front side and rear side. Means in this reaction न्यूक्लियोफाइल बोथ साइड से भी अटैक कर सकता है और रियर साइड से भी अटैक कर सकता है, मतलब आगे से भी अटैक कर सकता है और पीछे से भी अटैक कर सकता है। सो द प्रोडक्ट विल बी racemic. In this reaction we get racemic product. And what is the meaning of racemic? Racemic mixture means inversion and retention. Retention means the shape of the product will same as the substrate, and the inversion means the shape of the product will change as compared to the substrate. Understand, students? Retention means same. Hopefully, students, you will got this lecture. Now, students, we are studying about bimolecular substitution reaction. It is the second step of nucleophilic substitution reaction. And firstly, I will tell you about what is the meaning of bimolecular. In first step, we discussed unimolecular. Unimolecularity means या फिर unimolecular reaction means substrate depend on the Rx, while in bimolecular mean substrate depend on the Rx and also nucleophile. That's why we call bimolecular substitution reaction. Again, I am repeating. In bimolecular reaction, substrate depend on the Rx and nucleophile. That's why we call bimolecular substitution reaction or SN2 reaction. Okay. This whole mechanism of bimolecular substitution reaction depend on the first step. It is not composed of two steps. It is composed of only one step. Now there is a reaction. We are discussing about the mechanism of bimolecular substitution reaction. Now there is a nucleophile and here is a substrate CHH and the carbon is attached on another side from the alkyl group. And there is also halogen. Again I am repeating, carbon has partial positive charge and halogen has partial negative charge. But nucleophile has negative charge. Nucleophile is very strong in these reactions, but when nucleophile is attacked on the carbon, it may partially bond with carbon until and unless halogen is not separated. Okay, this is called the transition state. What is the transition state? Transition state means nucleophile attack on the carbon, it forms partially bond or weak bond. There is another reactant and that the bond between the carbon and other reactant is also become partial bond, or we can say that weak bond. In transition state, there is a two reactor nucleophile has negative charge and halogen has partial negative charge. So, halogen will separate from the carbon and nucleophile make a strong bond with the carbon and the positions of molecules on the carbon hydrogen and our alkyl group is changed. The position of hydrogen again I am repeating जब जैसे ही न्यूक्लियोफाइल कार्बन पे अटैक करेगा जो कार्बन के साथ हेलोजीन का जो बॉन्ड है वो वीक हो जाएगा ठीक है और न्यूक्लियोफाइल पे कार्बन के साथ वीक बॉन्ड बनाएगा और जैसे ही हेलोजीन क्योंकि अब न्यूक्लियोफाइल कार्बन के पास आ गया है तो हेलोजीन जो है कार्बन से सेपरेट होना चाहेगा क्योंकि कार्बन पे है पॉजिटिव चार्ज हेलोजन पार्शियल पॉजिटिव चार्ज तो हेलोजन जो है कार्बन से सेपरेट होएगा और न्यूक्लियोफाइल जो है कार्बन के साथ स्ट्रॉन्ग बॉन्ड बना लेगा लेकिन जो कार्बन के ऊपर अल्काइल ग्रुप लगा है उनकी पोजीशन जो है चेंज हो जाएगी ठीक है there is another information about this mechanism nucleophile is very strong we will discuss before nucleophile is very strong in this reaction there is inversion product form what is the meaning of inversion because nucleophile attack from backward side in first step nucleophiles has ability to attack from the front side and back side but there is nucleophile is strong but it has not ability to the attack on the front side and the backward side because halogen is also partial negative charge and nucleophile has negative charge सेम चार्ज होंगे तो रिपल्जन होगी ठीक है सो न्यूक्लियोफाइल अटैक ऑन द बैक साइड एंड इन्वर्जन प्रोडक्ट इज फॉर्म्ड there is a steric hindrance produced in this reaction 1 degree, 2 degree, 3 degree. This reaction occur this reaction or we can say that this reaction proceed when or this reaction is strong when 1 degree carbon is greater than 2 degree carbon and 2 degree carbon is greater than 3 degree carbon. मीन्स जितने अल्काइल ग्रुप इस पे कम होंगे इतनी ज़्यादा स्टेरिक हिंड्रेंस प्रोड्यूस होगी और न्यूक्लियोफाइल जो है आसानी से है कार्बन के साथ अटैच हो जाएगा हेलोजन सेपरेट हो जाएगा और जितने ज़्यादा अल्काइल ग्रुप मौजूद होंगे न्यूक्लियोफाइल आसानी के साथ जो है कार्बन के साथ अटैच नहीं होगा इस वजह से वी कैन से दैट 1 डिग्री 2 डिग्री 3 डिग्री रेशो is here for bimolecular substitution reaction. Now there is another point primary substrate are used in this reaction. We discussed before primary substrate को हम use करते हैं in this reaction में means carbon has only one alkyl group. Now students we are discussing about the difference between SN1 and SN2 reaction. SN1 reaction is unimolecular and SN2 reaction is bimolecular. Okay, we discussed before unimolecular means the substrate depend on the Rx while in bimolecular means substrate depend on the Rx and nucleophile. Okay, that's why we call bimolecular substitution reaction. In the SN1 reaction, carbocation formed while in the SN2 reaction, steric hindrance formed. The carbocation formed it is strongly formed in the presence of 3-degree carbon as compared to 2-degree carbon. If we compare 2-degree carbon from the 1-degree carbon, carbocation formed very weak. Okay, while steric hindrance formed strong in the presence of 1-degree carbon as compared to 2-degree carbon or as compared 3-degree carbon. That's why we say that and the ratio of the SN2 reaction is 1 degree, 2 degree, 3 degree, while the ratio of the SN1 reaction is 3 degree, 2 degree, 1 degree. SN1 reaction is also depend on the sum basis. Students, are you listening? SN1 reaction is also depend on the sum basis. The nucleophile is weak in the SN1 reaction while the nucleophile is strong in the SN2 reaction. And the rate of reaction is depend on the Rx while in the SN2 reaction the rate of reaction is depend on the Rx and nucleophile. In the SN1 reaction, solvent is polar protic. Example water, ethanol and ethanolic acid. While in the SN2 reaction, solvent is polar aprotic. Solar, polar aprotic or polar aprotic. Example acetone, dimethyl sulfur oxide, chloroform, CHCl3. Ma'am, what is this? Students, this is the formula of chloroform CHCl3. You can note it for MCQs. It can become in the exams what is the formula of chloroform or it can come in the MCQs. And when we talk about stereochemistry of SN1 mechanism, it and stereochemistry means what is the product of SN1 mechanism. Okay, the product will be in the SN1 mechanism can be inversion or retention, but in the SN2 reaction the product will be inversion. Okay students, hopefully you will clearly understand the SN1 mechanism and SN2 reactions. First step and second step of SN1 reaction and how these mechanisms perform. Thank you students. Please subscribe my channel, like, share and subscribe. Thank you. Allah Hafiz.